And we're live on the twitch.tv/the playing the Hermitcraft. Alrighty, it's a hot day here in the UK. Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to be even worse. So you probably won't see me streaming for a couple of days. I don't know. I've got a feeling the weather's going to be pretty unbearable pretty swiftly. Let's see. Anyway, we're just gonna hang out and gather some materials today. It's gonna be that kind of stream. Thought I'd start up by tidying up my inventory a little bit. We've got boxes full of arrows. What are they doing? Welcome to the peeps saying hello in chat and tuning in. Come on by. God, it's so warm here. Exhausting. So what did I want to do first? I wanted to set up some furnaces. Still don't have a proper smelting system or anything like that. So we'll chuck down some of these. And I need a lot of stacks of smooth stone. Should have got the calculator actually. 1, 3... We won't use a calculator, I'll just do it off the top of my head. Totally not using a calculator right now. 21 stacks? Dang. Over 21 stacks. Well, I guess that's 8. Yep, that's 8. And that would make 20. So if I fill up all of those with stone and smelt them, then we got what we need. Dang. Uh-huh. Definitely would have been good to have a sort of automatic smelting array by now, but the way I'm playing this season, we're just taking our time with everything. We're in it for the long run. Hey, we had our first noise in the ear. It's Baitan Daniil here. For 17 months. Stay cool, stay hydrated, stay awesome. I like the messaging. Thank you, my dude. I've got a bottle of cold water with me. No cup of tea. Oh, too much for that. Too much for that. Emma Lou Dee-Doo is here for 68 months saying, hello X, it's great to catch a stream. You're doing a great job. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Evil X in the chat. Today will probably be a bit of a waffle stream as well. Bit of a chit chat. So if anyone wants to talk about anything, you know where to say hello. Where's my fuel at? That's like 8 right there. And another 8 is 16, right? And that should fill up all of these. Grogbo says, talking point, I want to quit my job. Alright. Okay, that we can have a discussion about wanting to quit your job. Now, obviously, if you want to quit your job, it's easy to think that you don't like it. Right? That's probably the first thing. Here's the thing. Sometimes you have a job because you need to pay the bills, right? I don't know what sort of job you're working. I don't know the ins and outs, the details. But what I would say is, 1, don't be afraid to make a big decision. But 2, don't rush that big decision. Get to the bottom of your dissatisfaction. Find out what it is you really want. Know your purpose. You gotta introspect and figure out what it is you think and feel. What your objectives are. And ask how the job you're working aligns or doesn't align with them. Sometimes the answers might be, I know what I want to do, but I have commitments, I have responsibilities. I can't up this job because there are bills to pay and mouths to feed. But it might be more simpler than that for your situation. It might be a case of, I don't actually have a lot of commitments and responsibilities, so why am I putting up with something I don't like rather than pursuing something that would mean more to me, right? You have to ask these big questions at some point at another time. At some point in time. Scratch Brainstorm says, this 100%. I often people don't look inward at your interests and go for another job that they also don't enjoy. Yeah, you can look inwards. And, oh, what I really want to do is this, then you go do that. Oh, it turns out I didn't like that. Right? Some people are afraid of that risk. Oh no, I wasted my time. No. You learned more about yourself. Right? I think inaction is the bigger problem. If you're taking actions and thinking and making decisions, you're learning along the way. You might jump from one job to another and find out, hey, this wasn't what I thought it was. But that's you learning. Alright? That's you growing and learning. Just gotta keep on that. Hey, Xisuma, isn't motivation a big factor in art? I thought we were going to say in that, as in what we're discussing about. So, what I've said about motivation ties into what we're currently discussing about. There is the circle of action, motivation, and inspiration. And I say circle because it can start at any point in the circle, right? If you start with the doing, the action of something, you'll eventually become inspired or motivated to do it once you're in that space. So taking action can be the first step. Wicker Stacy says, in my opinion, if you dread going to work, it's time to find a better job. Or if you're in a toxic environment at your job, find a better one. My job has its ups and downs, but 98% of the time it's enjoyable, and my co-workers are a great bunch of people too. Yeah. Yeah, another thing is, like, what sort of person are you? Like, immediately when I get asked questions like that now, I think back to how I used to be and behave. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes for a second. We probably need about another 4 or 5 stacks of this stuff, so we'll get that going. Then we've got to get several stacks of glow lichen together, which I think I've actually already got. Okay, so more furnaces, more glow lichen. That's, let's see, 128, 256, 320 odd. Yep, that's more than enough glow lichen for our needs, as of right now. So we just need more slabs, which means, let's say we throw down another 6 of these. So when I look back to how I was when I was a teenager working a job, my attitude was so different. I would say things like, I hate my job, right? Whereas actually my job was kind of easy in comparison, in retrospect, right? I probably knew it at the time. Not a lot of responsibility, simple stuff to do. I was good at it as well. I was the sort of person that, like, knew everything there was to do at the job, so, you know, quite often I'd show other people what to do, that kind of thing. But, like, my attitude towards it was so different from what it would be today. Today, if I were working there, I'd be taking so much more pride in the work that I do, even though it's like retail, medial kind of work. Like, I would take so much more pride in, like, the simple things, and I would be more responsible for the responsibilities of the job, the things that were asked of me. And that's like a reflection of my attitude. So if all of a sudden I wake up tomorrow and doing that job again, yeah, I probably wouldn't, like, it probably wouldn't be the thing I continue doing, right? I'd want to move on. I'd want to change careers, get onto something different. But I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't frame it like that to myself. I would look for the things in it that are positive as well. Like interacting with other people, or being able to be of help to other people, you know? It was the kind of job where people would ask you for things and you tell them the answers, and it's simple, it's nice, it's easy. Would you consider doing a music reaction stream someday? Nah, that doesn't sound something like I really want to do. I like listening to music on my lonesome. How long did the storage system take, says Astro Wolf? Yeah, a fair few hours, but, you know, it's technically still, it's a work in progress, because you always got to maintain it. You got to update the filters as you gather the items and whatnot. I haven't been able to get it to work with stacks of 16. Now, I know you have to rebalance the filter to do that. Look at that. These are some blocks that need to have some filters attached for them. I know you're able to do that, but every time I've tried to do it, it's failed. And I'm not sure why, so I've kind of held off from doing that. X, I just recently started to look for jobs, but it's a bit harder considering some jobs I found I wasn't really up to. My mum's standard because she doesn't want me to take night shift. What should I do? You know, night shift's a sacrifice, and I think it's your personal choice. If someone disagrees with you taking a night shift, like, and you want it, you want the job, you want the responsibility, I mean, it feels to me like, unless there's some imposing circumstance on that, it doesn't sound terribly reasonable. Like, you're trying to get out there and get a job, and like, taking a night shift is a sign of, not maturity, but like, that you got the commitment, the hustle, you know, you want this, you'll take the night shift kind of thing. I think that I would personally be commendable of that, but also I don't think, you know, you have to realize, is that sustainable for you? Like, night shift is a sacrifice in terms of health. You know, some people are night owls, but and have certain rhythms that work well with nocturnal life, I guess you could say, but broadly speaking, it messes with your circadian rhythm and stuff. So thanks a lot. Thank you for 72 months. Wow. How many years is that? I can't even do the math off the top of my head. That's how many. Is that like 6? 6 years, right? Yeah, 6. Finally catching another stream. What a busy year it has been so far. Oh, hasn't it just? It's flown by. Beginning of it's flown by. So now we're going to go take a trip to get our hands on. We've got the glow lichen. We need honey blocks, hoppers, stairs. They don't have to be quartz. They don't have to be quartz. We'll build that on something else. This is for the ice farm, which I finished, by the way. Need to get some obsidian. Right, the redstone, the observers. Probably not going to have to craft a lot of those. So everything else on my list is pretty good. So when we head out to get these honey blocks, I also have to pick up some bones. That's it. Bones and honey blocks. See, I'm trying to be mentally prepared. I thought all owls are night owls. You know the expression. Elder Mike, you know the expression, the night owl. I plan to get a night shift job. I function better at night anyway, says Cycross. Yeah, you know, I'm not... I used to think I was a night owl, and I learned that I'm not. And I think, like, once you've got a bit of understanding of how sleep science works, like, I would encourage... If you think you're a night owl, I would encourage you to learn more about circadian rhythms, like the science of sleep, and how all that works before you set your mind that I'm a night owl, because there is a key distinction about sleep deprivation and the negative effects that come with losing out on sleep, is that you are a terrible measurer of how your sleep, how well you sleep. So if let's say you get 4 hours of sleep, not very good. You need 7 or 8 at least. You will be a worse measure of your own performance, right? And they can compare our intuitive understanding of how we think we feel, right? Oh no, 4 hours of sleep, I feel great, right? They can compare that against measurements of brain activity and bodily function, and can see that if we lose out on sleep, we will be a terrible judge of our own, our own ability, our own function, our own... Trying to search for the right word and it's not quite there, but you probably get what I'm saying. So, like, do the research first, because when you understand the science of sleep a little better, then you can apply it to yourself. And when I was doing that, I really kind of learned, oh no, I'm not a night owl. I used to be someone that go to bed at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And that was just kind of my way. I actually need to craft this all into bones. Bone meal? Bone blocks, that's the one. Get there in the end. So I had a lifestyle that was actually not really that great for my health, but I had no way of knowing because of the nature of sleep deprivation, is that it makes you a terrible judge of how much the lack of sleep is affecting you. Now obviously you can sleep at night and get, 8 hours of sleep every day. But, another part of sleep health is sunlight and the circadian rhythm and that kind of stuff. So that's why I say, like, it's worth like finding out if you are or are not a night owl through understanding sleep science. Once you understand it a bit more, you might see the effects certain sleep behaviors have on you, and then you can be like, oh, you know, actually it turns out I do feel better if I get up in the morning, or whatever. Like, you know, because taking a night shift is a big commitment, and doing that on a false assumption could be somewhat detrimental to your health, I guess. We're going to get so many bone blocks today, we could even go stock up the shop. Oh gosh, it's so exciting here on Twitch. We stock up shops. Gosh, thrilling entertainment. X, stop stocking up your shops. I can't take all this adrenaline. Okay, here we go. Once you get past a few, it gets a little quicker. The key is just don't fill up the whole of your inventory in one go. I love that we can hear all that clickiness of the portal going on behind us. Peter the Hobbit 1, thank you for 10 months of support. Greatly appreciated, my dude. We're 15 minutes in. It's like the need for some water or something. Hosh says, I used to I got used to the lack of sleep, like 2 to 3 hours every day. LeMayo. Yeah, so as I was saying, like, you become a terrible judge of like how the lack of sleep impacts your body. So you feel like, oh, I'm used to this, 2 to 3 hours, it's fine. But you can't get back those hours of lost sleep. Sleep is an incredibly important part of being a human. It's the time when your body starts to repair itself and do all of these maintenance functions while you're out of consciousness. And yeah, as I said, they can clearly measure the effects of sleep deprivation, like lacking sleep, getting 2 to 3 hours a night. And what they see is that people think, oh no, I'm great, I'm fine, I can handle this, and yet the measurements they have of your body function and your brain function is like, nope, you're suboptimal performance. Wayne Stone 98, thank you for the Prime, appreciate it, my dude. You see, I became fascinated by all of this like a while back, all of this sleep science, and really started to apply it to myself. Like, hey, I'm going to try and get the best sleep I can every night. And what I've learned is like the extra time that you give to sleeping, you know, you can think of it of like, oh, I'm losing out on time awake, but dang, it's like quality or quantity, right? I pick quality. Just being so much more alert and attentive, and your cognitive ability is better, your physical ability is better, and I just prefer all of that. I prefer all of that kind of sharpness and feeling at your best. You know, as opposed to having a few extra hours, because especially if you're trying to do like intense work or physical work, you know, like mental work, physical work. If you're doing it at suboptimal performance, like you're not going to be as effective as when you've had full sleep and stuff. Dark Queen 12229 here with the Prime. Thank you so much for your Prime subscription. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream, having a good time. A quality night of sleep can make the day so much better mentally, says T Theory. That is, yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at. And duration of sleep is not the only determining factor of sleep quality. There are so many other things you can learn and do. Like for me, I have to stop drinking as much before I go to bed, because otherwise I'll wake up to go to the toilet, and I feel like that really disrupts me. I always feel better if I haven't gone to the toilet in the night, even though I'll fall back asleep again. I mean, sometimes you don't fall back asleep too easily. Also winding down at the end of the day, getting away from screens and blue light, and then I like to go for a walk, which is probably a little bit counteractive because that's probably going to heat up the body a bit, but you want your body to cool down before you go to bed as well, and these things, they all make a difference. So like, they call it sleep hygiene, right? And that's your way to maximize your cognitive and physical functions. Get that sleep in. My brain is annoyingly tied to sunlight. Wake up too early in summer and hard to wake up in winter, says Asteria. Yeah, I'm a little bit like that with the sunlight. Have you tried using some blackout curtains? They make quite a difference for me. And I also have like a nightshade thing for my eyes, like the little thing that you slip over your eyes. That you might have seen it on like an aeroplane. They give it to people. Like, if you're that sensitive to sunlight, like blackout curtains, put those eye nightshade things on, and like give yourself a better chance, hopefully, of not being awoken by it. But yeah, I mean, if that's your rhythm as well, though, like, and you can go to bed early and time it right, then it's also good just to be in sync with that. Like, sometimes the rest of the world is moving at a different pace, and getting up early isn't particularly great for like what's going on around you, but obviously if you can stick to your own rhythm, it's pretty good. I can agree. I was at a dark point when I was not sure I'd live another day. Then I tried sleeping with a fixed cycle, let more sun in my room, and brought a bike and go on a bike walk every morning to get fresh air. It really matters a lot, says Philip Alexander. I can relate to that too, man. My own struggles in the past were greatly helped in the right direction by taking care of one's own health. But it's like, it's just the simplicity of things like sunlight and fresh air and exercise. I think when you're like young, or at least this was my experience of being a teenager, young adult, was like everything that's sort of present around you, that's there every day, just feels like you take it for granted, and you're in pursuit of like extremes, or I don't know, stuff that seems wildly exciting and whatnot, and you just lose sight of the simplicity of like activities like a walk or sunlight, you know. And then I think you get older and you gain those things back again, perhaps. That's my experience, but I've heard that echoed by listening to other people that talk about, like, you know, what it's like being young to being older. There we go, bone blocks. More and more and more. I've got the issue at the moment that I always wake up 1 hour before my alarm rings, says Walking Daughter. I've been doing that a bit lately. I've like my sort of... I don't actually use an alarm clock, but I've sort of been thinking as of late. When I set an alarm, usually my problem is that it makes me think about I need to be up at this time, and then I sort of worry, even if I'm aware of that and I try and calm myself down. I sort of subconsciously worry about, oh man, like the alarm, like what if I don't get in sleep in time? The alarm clock's going to wake me up early. So where I've been waking up earlier these days is like, if I put an alarm clock and I think of the mindset of like, when I do wake up early and I know that the alarm, it's not because of the alarm, I can kind of like lay there and drift off again and not really have to think about what time it is or anything. So I guess what I'm saying is like, I'm waking up early. So if I wake up before the alarm goes off, I know I can just stay there and go like fall back asleep if I feel like it. As opposed to when I normally use the alarm, it's because I've got to be up for something, and that creates that worry of like, I don't want to be late. According to certain studies, the human body isn't supposed to be set on a singular sleep cycle in a 24-hour period. We are actually supposed to sleep twice a day for 3 to 4 hours each time, says Alun Shatterstone. I mean, like, as you said, certain studies, like, that sounds quite counter to much of what I've heard about sleep science. I mean, it is possible to go on 2 sets of sleep, but I don't know. There's always some science out there that disagrees with the other, right? Hey, we got Trooper 2531 here for 6 months, half a year, and Kemble 9,900 for 4 months, saying, didn't realise I've been lurking for a while, been watching since season 3. That is a long while, dang. On and off, so I figured I should give something back. Thank you for subscribing with the Prime, appreciate you doing that. Season 3, many moons ago, right? Many, many moons ago. Hey, Xisuma, will we be able to download your tools custom model? Yes, it's a part of the resource pack on the server. That's one of the reasons we decided to do it, is because they would then, like, they wouldn't be things outside the reach of players who are on Java that want to, you know, experience Hermitcraft the same way, right? Like, you don't want to download the world and then install a bunch of mods. Like, that's a barrier to entry. So because it's part of the world download, it means everyone will have access to custom models and stuff through the world download, which is pretty cool. That amplified terrain was really nice. Gave a nice community feel, says Campbell. I liked it, but I think the you know, the opportunity to do amplified again has probably well and truly passed. It just, I don't think that many people are into it. And I can see why. It's honestly a bit novel and a bit like, unless you've really got a plan to hinge around the amplified terrain, it's going to be a novel thing. It's not going to be a big game changer for a season. If that's in general, I don't think seeds really define a season much. We've certainly utilized them in several ways in the past, but what really makes a season is the adventures, the builds, the Minecraft stuff, right? That's what makes the difference. I'm going to fill up that last shulker box and then we'll head out of here. For Xisuma, bone blocks are lunchboxes. Yep, pretty much. Have you ever read Hermitcraft fanfictions? Yeah, I've read some that I didn't really enjoy. Because they were really bizarre. And I don't know if there's any that aren't bizarre, but the ones that I were exposed to were pretty on the bizarre spectrum, and I was just like, this isn't for me. Some of you seem a little baffled by my response. I mean, it's the internet, right? Like, you can find anything on the internet, and my exposure to Hermitcraft fanfiction was, I guess, definitely not, definitely not to my liking. Right, just 2 more stacks. Here we go. That is all we need, my friends. That is all we need. Did I make a little too much? How did I manage to do that? I don't know. Well, we'll just leave that there for next time. These are the things that we do on the stream. We just do the grind. We take care of business. All that off-camera stuff. That Christopher, thank you for 78 months. See my legs right there. Here for yet another month. Hope you're having a chill Sunday. I had a great Sunday. Yeah, great Sunday so far. Relaxed. I started watching a movie earlier. Gonna finish that later today. Haven't really been in the mood for movies lately, but I don't know. Today I was just like, today's the day. I got me a Halo top to enjoy later, right? YouTuber fanfiction has always been a little out there for me, even back when I used to be into reading faction way back in middle school. I never read anything fanfiction-wise. My circles have just been kind of different from, I guess, maybe what a lot of internet culture is into. So, like, I was always into music and music scene related things. And fanfiction just, I don't think there's an overlap there, really. Not that I've ever noticed. Have you considered using auto hotkeys for crafting like Tango? I have. They're a little more situated for like semi-automation with the items, right? Like they drop into your inventory at a certain point, and I should probably look into that and see how it could be done. Might make for a fun little video to show how the scripting stuff works, but there'll probably be like a lot of clicking coordinates and maybe things that could go wrong. So we want honey blocks as well as bones. That's what we set out for. So I guess we'll visit the shopping district and also my base, my first base. And over here we go. He's using it for gold crafting, makes it so much faster. Yeah, so you got to do like nuggets into ingots, ingots into blocks, and you got tons of them in chests. I mean, ideally, yeah, you would build that up with like a sort of dispensary type of station. X, do you think the James Webb Telescope will discover life in the universe? Says Slice Benedictus. So those kind of questions and that kind of discussion is stuff that I absolutely love. Science is like crazy fascinating, and so is space and the possibilities and all that kind of stuff. And I've always been one to say, of course there's life out there. Look at how big the galaxy and the universe is and whatnot. But recently I heard a counter argument that I found really interesting, and I'm probably not going to express it in quite the elegantly scientific way that I heard it, but I'm sure some of you will get the point being made. So when we think about like life being somewhere else in the universe, look at that, I made too many. The thing is though, I can actually just go and put them in over here too. Right, and now they're going to start popping off. This farm is so weird on how it behaves on a server. Like, in those droppers right now, there will be things that can interact with the one in front of it, but yet for some reason it often doesn't. So like, that time it was a full honey block going through, or honey bowl. In fact, that's kind of why it's not working right now, but sometimes you'll have that. That time it worked, and it doesn't. Speak of the devil, and then, oh no, it's fine now. So I'm just going to leave that there. But I do need to consider how much I have in total. Yeah, I actually need a few extra blocks for the build that we're doing. I need 127, and here we have less than that. So I do actually need to get some bottles out of this thing. So maybe we'll come back there later in the stream, although the area might not have been loaded. Okay, so this argument that I heard about maybe there isn't lots of life out there is about putting it in the context, the question in the context of time. So it's easy to have these big astronomical numbers of the amount of solar systems. Well, first of all, the amount of universes, then solar systems within them, and then planets around stars, and like these astronomical numbers appear, and it's like, wow, surely somewhere out there's a chance of life. And if you even then give life here on this planet some very unfavorable numbers of the actual chance that it could come into existence, the huge size of the universe just kind of like throws that into balance and says, maybe it is possible, right? But this point that I heard sort of pointed out that the universe has been around for billions of years, right? And what's happened here on this planet, the emergence of life, is actually like a sort of fraction of that. Oh, am I saying it wrong? Galaxies, not universes. I get my words muddled. Thanks for correcting me, chat. 3kill TM, thank you for 13 months of support. GamerX85's here with 45. Wow, thank you for using the Prime subscription on me, my dude. Appreciate it. We got an astrophysics student in the chat as well. The James Webb Telescope isn't equipped for that in the sense that it will look for life, but it will definitely help unfold the mysteries about regions where life is capable of forming. Yeah, I think we might be splitting words a little bit here, because those tools will, I mean, it gives us the ability to see what planets are comprised of, and therefore we might find a planet that has signs of life through what it's comprised by, right? I don't know if the goal of that is to specifically search for life or to just look at planets and learn more about them. To me, it seems like surely they, like, people in and around NASA would be swayed and want to look for life. So part of that instrument and that ability to do those things would mean that we could technically be searching for life as we look at these planets. Anyway, going back to the point that I heard. So if you scale, or sorry, if you consider how long it took for life to emerge on this planet, it's I don't know what it is in terms of billions or hundreds of millions of years, But the point being that for the time the universe has been around, it's like a small portion of it. So then, if you imagine sliding that portion into the past and saying, oh, what happened here happened somewhere else 1,000,000 years ago, that would give them 1,000,000 years of evolution to get past where we are now and explore the galaxy. And remember, we're on this like exponential curve of technology. And people believe that, you know, in 100 years, technology could just make everything we have today look so vastly different. In the same way, I imagine, you know, going back a couple of 100 years to the 1700s, people are going around on what? Horse and cart, and now we've got smartphones and aeroplanes, like, and the internet, and all of that would just be completely alien and bizarre to them, right? But the point this person was making is that, like, from the point where technology emerges, and supposedly there's this upward curve that will take us to the stars and beyond, if you peel that back 1,000,000 years, let's say, that's a long time. Like, imagine where we are now and where we'll be in 1,000,000 years if we survive, right? If we get through the challenges ahead of us and technology continues to flourish. Like, there have been many, many opportunities for that to happen elsewhere in the galaxy. And so that kind of raises the question of, well, okay, there is actually astronomical amounts of time for that to play out in the past. Maybe there are loads of, is it called the Fermi paradox? Where, like, there's a barrier, right? Like, people or aliens, life forms tend to not get past where we are right now. Or maybe they get a bit further and then it all collapses, right? That could be happening all over the galaxy. But then, in theory, they should also be sending out radio waves, like we are, right? We're broadcasting our existence to the rest of the galaxy, and it takes time for these waves to travel across the universe. The Great Filter. Okay, that's apparently that is the Fermi paradox, and it's called the Great Filter. So we've got those things right. So if the Great Filter is a thing, right? Maybe the Great Filter is prior to radio waves. Maybe we really are just the luckiest of the lucky, and we got radio waves out there. But let's imagine that radio waves are behind, like most civilizations or whatever, alien civilizations, they get to radio waves and they send them out through space. Now, when I talk about like how you can scale back time and think, well, what happened here could have taken place elsewhere in the galaxy 1,000,000,000 years ago. Those waves would have 1,000,000,000 years to travel. Like, and so the point would be, like, we're seeing absolutely nothing everywhere so far. No other radio waves. Like, we've literally got nothing. And when you factor in time of like where we are now sending out radio waves into space, and it's not happened anywhere else before us as far as it seems, then all of a sudden the chances of life occurring elsewhere do start to seem a little bit more mysterious. Bent on World Destruction, thank you for 6 months, half a year. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for using the Amazon Prime on me. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Well, we have only been listening for about 50 years or so, and those waves would not have to hit us just now, so no lack of discovery does not indicate that it would not happen, says Mark No. I think, I'm not sure I fully agree with you, but I think you do raise an interesting point, is that you can stop sending radio waves at some point in time, and then they can go past the location. So maybe we started listening just as the last bunch of waves went past us. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if it quite works like that, but thinking about how a wave travels across water, if you're in the water after the wave's gone, then the wave's gone, right? Like, I don't know if it works quite like that, and that's an interesting point, you know. But then I think what it would say is that like civilizations that send radio waves and then collapse and die out, we'd probably miss those, right? They would probably travel through the galaxy, and unless you're around at the right time, then they go past where you are. So maybe then it means that it's really hard to get past the phase that we're at, right? That the Great Filter stops all of that. And maybe somewhere out there in the galaxy, there's like, you know, other creatures asking the same questions, and maybe some of them actually caught radio waves from, nearby galaxies and actually knew, wait, there is life somewhere else in the galaxy. Imagine that. Imagine that there are other parts out there asking the same questions. Some of them don't know, some of them do. And maybe when I say out there, we're not talking about just space, a location, but time. Like maybe in 100 million years, something happens over here. Maybe in 200 million, something over there. It's like, it's such a big, vast space. Right, what are we doing next? Because this waffle has distracted me immensely. Got to craft hoppers, got to go gather some obsidian. I think we'll just get a few stacks of that. And then make sure that my redstone supplies are topped up. Right, let's go obsidian mining next. But we might even scout a location. And, in fact, I think my base might not... Let's fly over there. My base might not be a bad location to scout, actually. Good waffle, says man. Your CL98. Thank you, thank you. Have you seen the movie Interstellar? Yes, I've seen it a couple of times. Have you heard of the dark forest theory? I have not. I have not. I would like to know what that is. This is all based on the assumption that other life forms have sent radio waves out. Maybe they just haven't bothered with that. Says Uncle P-Bags. Yeah. Yeah, you know, like, life could sort of exist in so many different capacities that, like, we might be looking at the signs of life and not realizing it. Like, I've talked about it before, how, like, when you learn about atoms and electrons and nuclei and all this stuff, you see similar patterns of, like, little orbs floating around, like, you know, circular rotations around specific, like, specific points. Oh, okay, that's XP crafted. I thought it was me for some reason. And it's like... And then it looks like, when you look at a solar system, it's like, oh, there's the sun and the things revolving around it. And, like, you see those inward-outward patterns, and it's like, well, you know, maybe what atoms are to us, components of our being, maybe that's what, like, planets going around suns are to another scale of existence. Crazy, right? Okay, yeah, so if snow settles in this biome, I need 128 blocks of distance from one point to the other. I don't really like the idea of building this thing sort of out in the open, but there's really no choice. So it's either build it here or build it far away. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 160 blocks. So there's no doubt in my mind that I can build this farm in this area. It's probably more of a case of if I want to or not. What about the distance from this spot over here? Alright, let's look at where the snow is. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I could probably build this farm from this spot off into that direction. And it would be hovering above the ground, and maybe I could add some support beams for it or something. Maybe even make it like go into the side of the mountain and then hook up with our base. So the entrance could come through from here. But as you'll see, our base is like a long, long way off in that direction. Something else I need to do in this area. Remember the slime farm? Well, it's actually not very productive. So I need to keep lighting up caves. I also, at some point, need to tear out the ceiling. Like, everything here, I technically need to tear out. Like, a big circle in this area. Which is kind of crazy. So, now we're doing obsidian mining. Let's go find our way down to the bottom of the world. Tango wants to speak with you regarding ice farm, says PG109. Does he? Can you enlighten me more? Because I am happy, if he needs an ice farm, I'm happy to share the use of it. Spooky Dokie, thank you for 52 months of support. Greatly appreciated. The ice farm that I've built is a player AFK farm. But it's one that's not crazy complicated to build or to set up. And its governing factor is really distance. Like, the longer you can build it, the better it is. So, I'm not going to build it as extravagant as it could be. I definitely might make it more than 128 blocks, though. This one is the one that goes all the way down. Although, maybe technically not all the way down. Because the world's pretty deep these days. Part of me suspects that in the current age of the universe, it is still too early for most intelligent life that will exist to form. So we see much less of the signs of them than we expect. It could be too early, yeah. All of these questions and all of this discussion just has so much ignorance, though. Like, how much we don't know. It's incredible. Like, how much knowable stuff there is compared to what we know. It's like, you know, astronomical isn't really a grandiose enough term. Somewhere in here, I should have a couple buckets of water. And they're supposed to be in a different chest. Cool, there we go. Let's put a torch in our offhand so we can see what we're doing. I kind of like having that totem of undying. It makes you a little bit safer, you know. I dare say I don't know more than I do know. You don't know... Wait, my brain has to process that. I dare say I don't know more. You don't know more than you do know. No, wait, that is totally confusing my brain for some reason. Like, I can say that of all the things that I know, there's definitely more out there that I don't know. And even of the things that you do know, they get conceptualized to make them easy to understand, right? Like, many of the things we do know, we know conceptually. Like, hey, I know that Xisuma guy. Oh, you know me, do you? Then, you know, precisely explain my atomic structure. Like, imagine how much there is to know about one's atomic structure that you don't know. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get all this obsidian. Or just the one. It's only one, apparently. When is it me or is it like when I feel like, oh, it might have been because I dropped into that. Yeah, look, the torch doesn't work underwater. It kind of confused me. Ooh! Didn't expect that. There's a hole down there. There's a hole in my pocket. That's like a thing I heard when I was a kid. Dear Elijah? Is that like an old kids thing? There's a hole in my pocket, Elijah. God, I feel like that's something I probably haven't thought about for like 30 years. Yes, it is, apparently. Dang. Lord Pycrust says water, 35 litres, carbon, 20 kilograms, ammonia, 4 litres, lime, 1.5 kilograms. Wow, so much information, but even your answer is a minimal amount of information compared to where it is all located and distributed through space, right? The levels of detail of knowledge or like stuff is just insane. Like think of it like a picture. A picture has a resolution. So like, what's the resolution of your body in terms of things you could know about? This electron is spinning around that atom at this speed, right? It just becomes like a mind-bogglingly large amount of information. Like, there's probably more of that information than there is stars and planets in the galaxy. But then on each of those stars and galaxies exists like equally, or maybe not equally, but you know, complex things that again could just be described with astronomical amounts of information. GDizzle78, thank you for 13 months of support, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Even all of your senses filter the information that you're receiving, says Black Ross. Yeah, so that's another level of complexity here, is that your experience of reality comes through your senses. And we already know that, you know, our senses are not actual descriptions of reality, but are there for us to interpretate to survive reality. Take light, for example. There's the light that we can see, but then there are things beyond the light that we can see. Infrared, ultraviolet, all of that kind of stuff, right? Some of you are saying this is making your brain hurt. Enjoy! Enjoy. It doesn't make my brain hurt. It just gets me kind of like mesmerized by like how many possibilities of things there are to exist in the galaxy. Microwave and radio wave, yep. Light and colour are super personal. They sure are. The diagram of atoms you're picturing is based on the solar system, not the other way around. And it is also so oversimplified that actually it's wrong. It just happens to work predicting a lot, says Asteria. I can understand that. I can understand that. Things constantly get simplified and boiled down, right? Like listening to podcasts with physicists and stuff. One of the things they tend to point out is that like to actually understand physics and all this stuff, it's like really, really difficult. And the analogies that we use are kind of there to be helpful, but they can give you the wrong idea too. No brain pain, no brain gain. I like the attitude. I've been enjoying Xisuma talking about paradoxes and theories about the universe. I'm glad you have. Joke's on you, I don't have a brain. How did you write that message then? Gosh. It's a bot. We've discovered a bot. Why don't you mine obsidian in the end? Just didn't think of going to it. Also, I got a beacon here. There isn't a beacon active in the end, so I just came down to where there was a beacon active, I guess. Because I've been down here before, so I know I've got all I need. I know how to get here, I know how to get back. All of those reasons, I guess. While I appreciate the discussion, it's still early here. Yeah, these are normally late night discussions, I know what you mean. Oh, and if you like what we're talking about, a little bit unrelated, I've mentioned this before a few times. It just popped into my head. That movie, The Man from Earth, which I think is on Amazon Prime. I think it's like free. It was definitely distributed for free over the torrent network back in the day. And by that I mean, you know, it was a legal torrent. They decided to distribute the movie on there. That movie's like an equally like deep and fascinating kind of conversational topic. This is my everyday stuff studying physics, says Manuel CL. Your name, I'm so sorry, my dude. I just always manage to butcher it. Oh, it's time for that one, is it? It's time for that one. I guess so. Yeah, I think physics is a little bit beyond my abilities. But I find that world of stuff fascinating. Exavitus, whose name I will probably also butchered. Thanks for using the Prime, my dude. Shinny Fennekin, thank you for 2 months of support. Also with the Prime. That movie is awesome, says Nilosa. It is, and it's like, it's literally just a bunch of people in one location talking the entire movie, but it's so good. So good. Everless says I'm personally more of a chemistry fan. Awesome. I've never been pulled into the world of chemistry. Probably because I had like a bad introduction to it in school. It was just one of those classes that was like dull and the teacher didn't know how to make it interesting for you or anything. Yeah, if you know what you like, do it. If you needed to go back to school, what subject would you study? That is an interesting question. I feel like I could give you an answer had I thought about that before, but it would definitely be about, you know, making an informed decision and thinking it through. Off the top of my head, I honestly feel like the things that I'm drawn to are stuff like logic, puzzles, maths, but I see my limitations with those things quite quickly. I don't know if that's like a bad way to think about it. You know, there's always someone else smarter in the world than you. So I really feel like you need an intersection of disciplines where like you're not going to be the best mathematician in the world, but can you be the best mathematician who also does this other thing? And together they provide something of value. So I'd probably think about it like that. I'd think like, hey, what are my skills? Okay, like I like maths, I like logic, I also like music. Like maybe there's somewhere where these things actually overlap, and then like explore that space. You don't need to be the best to provide value, says Veniant. Well, in the field of something like mathematics, unless I'm mistaken, like I guess I don't really know where maths is like needed a lot of the time, especially with computers. Like general math skills I think are a little less needed in a lot of circumstances because of calculators and computers. But like in terms of doing math as like a science and like learning things about it, that's done by like top level smart people, right? And I don't know what the application of being a relatively let's say mediocre mathematician would be. Math is connected to physics a lot. I've heard people say interesting things about that, about the relationship between math and physics. I think they just say like math is more of a tool to understand physics, but could be mistaken. Statistics, analysts, and computer science, says Paranana Masis. So like you have the mathematics skills, and people are like, hey, we've got all these statistics, we need them analysed. I can see that, yeah. I think I would probably enjoy something like that as well. I like, you know, data is beautiful, and graphs and charts, especially how they try and interpret cultural things. Like they try and tell you something about the world, and it's fascinating to look at things through numbers and whatnot. That's why I like to look at, you know, Spotify, for example, has the amount of plays for an artist, right? And you know, seeing those numbers in a chart, like side by side, who are the biggest artists in the world, seeing that list, always interesting, isn't it? It's always like, oh, you know, like piques your interest knowing what you experience culturally and then seeing it through actual numbers. Now, there are some interesting distributions that appear in nature, and I believe this once applied to music too, but it may not anymore. But in a country, I'm trying to use my bucket. In a country, you have cities, like towns and cities, right? And across a lot of the world, if I'm remembering this correctly, the largest city will have, let me get this right, will have twice the population of the second largest city. And then there's like a regular distribution after that. And so if you plot all these different countries, you'll have anomalies and whatnot, but generally they have this pattern of like the biggest city is twice the population of the next one. And I believe like they also see that sometimes in other things as well. Like when Michael Jackson was one of just the biggest people, most recognizable on this planet, king of pop, you know, smashing record sales. I don't know what era this was, but probably late 80s, early 90s. He was twice as popular as the Beatles or something like that. And then the next artist was like, the Beatles were twice as popular as them. This distribution reappeared. But, you know, like, what measurements were they using? There's a whole bunch of questions you could ask in that direction. I don't know if that's visible on Spotify, or if the emergence of streaming technology, the availability of music has now changed the landscape, so that it doesn't distribute the same way anymore. Blade Wolf says, Katana says, X, are you a gamer? I mean, here we are, talking about games for hour on end, like I do every stream, always talking about games, aren't I? I don't consider myself a gamer, funny enough. I'm not really into the culture, the lifestyle. The games that I end up playing, they're always about either creativity or like strategy and puzzle. And I feel like, I don't know, does that count as being a gamer? How would y'all define being a gamer? The law 20% gets 80% applies to a lot of things from countries, populations to carpet and foot traffic. I feel like it applies to making videos as well, right? Like 20% of your effort makes 80% of the value of the video, and then you have to go that extra 80% to really put some extra polish on it, right? Like, I love what Rendog does. This is no criticism of him. Everyone's free to do what they want with their time. In fact, lately I've where I try and always introspect, where am I at, what am I doing, and your ideas and your values shift a little. I've had a bit of fun lately just putting a bit more time into editing, you know, and I'm looking for those ideas and thinking this could be a way to have fun now. I could be like, hey, editing can be fun too. Anyway, you know, Ren puts this astronomical effort into his episodes to make them incredible, and that's what he does. That's what's great about watching Ren. But I feel like what he gets in return for that extra mile he gets is not a lot in terms of... I guess actually I'm framing it a little wrong. Like, what does he get back? Like, viewer satisfaction and entertainment is a measurement too. I'm sure people are thoroughly entertained with the way he edits his videos and puts that extra polish. Like, that's his appeal, that's his niche. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, I think the value of the video as you experience it would probably be 80% there after 20% of the effort that you put in. That's how I feel about my videos. And so I'm currently working on some stuff like in the background where the effort that goes into it will be way, way higher than making an episode of Hermitcraft, for example. And in the past, I've experimented with making very high effort Hermitcraft episodes. But what I've learned is this 80-20% rule. So at some point you kind of draw a line in the sand and you're like, this is good for me. This works. I could go the extra distance and put in the extra polish and take it up a little notch, but it's not as much as, you know, the base level. Am I getting this right? I feel like it's kind of difficult to describe, but because, you know, the viewer experience is really important. So I guess my perception is like, I think I get across what I want to get across without having to go the extra mile. And if you look at like Ren's videos, for example, like he's about going the extra mile. So like if he one day like stripped that out, it would feel different. Diminishing returns, says Lord Piecrust. Yes, that's what I'm getting at, but I feel like I'm not like trying to directly compare to what Ren does, because he's created value in his style. Like, that's why you watch him do that, right? That's his niche, so to speak. But yeah, diminishing returns is kind of it. Right, I think that might do me on that front. That's more than I needed and more for the future. We're having a good fun waffle down there. I think this is the way out. An arc! 53 months! Thank you so much, my dude! We got Quers here for 6 months. Quers, thank you for all you do with the MCA selector. And I can't remember if I replied or not, but I think you might be right about that. I think I did reply. That theory. I mean, I just had another panic again because we had some issues on the server after we did the world prune. Some chunks were getting corrupted. And then it looked like we had double entities, and it's just like, oh god, here we go again. But yeah, while you're listening, if I could just waffle on about world pruning, it's like when you have players. I mean, here on Hermitcraft, 28 players who play a particular style, a particular way. I don't know how much this applies to the broader Minecraft community, but I certainly get people messaging me, hey X, the world pruning thing, tell me how it's done, and I'm always like, this is such a delicate thing and it's easy to do wrong that I just don't want to put it into a tutorial and then people break their worlds or anything like that. Like, but creating a product that does the whole process flawlessly or near to flawlessly would be amazing to get to. Because every time I prune the world, something happens. Something, like, air quotes, goes wrong, or there's a misstep. Like, maybe just a mistake on my behalf. Like, And being able to iron out those things and turn it into just a easy to use one app thing would be amazing. But that too, you know, could be tricky to fully figure out. So yeah, one of the things that was confusing to me is I think there was a bug that actually made pruning the world a little friendlier in the past, and now it's not that way. Where are we going here? What am I doing? I swear I just heard the sound of a skulk. Right, that's a shrieker, but that would be a player-based shrieker. Oh! Oh, someone's so funny! Can this give me darkness effect? Because it can't summon the warden, right? I want darkness now. I want darkness now. I want it. I want it. I really like the sounds. Just sound design. That was something I had a note for this season with my base, was to use sound more, but it didn't really pan out. I'll be frank, the way my base is panning out at the moment is like it's not really coming together for me. It looks great and everything, but just functionally, it's... I don't know where to go from here. I'm thinking of opening up the bottom and just seeing what it looks like, and maybe this area just becomes like a decorative fly-through, but... yeah, that's another great way to bring sound into what you're doing, interestingly. We've got some things that need mending. Yeah, we do. Manky hamster! Manky hamster. Thank you for subscribing, P. Eternal Fear. Thank you for gifting a sub to Paul Kenobi, Mel Biggin, and Kalamini. Y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks in that chat for those gifted subs. We appreciate them. Quasamac is here with some cheers and some biddies, saying, Xisuma, how did you do the custom derp coin textures and custom food items in the game? And you can't say Hermitcraft magic because I would love to do this stuff in my own world. Yeah, we use the custom roleplay data pack to put custom textures on items. That's the way it's done. And they're a part of the world download and whatnot, which means you can fit it into a vanilla world. Thank you for the cheers and biddies, my dude. Appreciate it. We need a shulker box for all of this stuff. And I've got arrows. So many arrows. Is that all wool? That is wool. That'll do. Yeah, so I want to stay on topic here for a second. Like, the world pruning thing. So, it used to be that it wasn't just chunks you were inside of. It was chunks you were inside of and near to. And that was brilliant because when you selected chunks that a player had been in, you'd get the ones near to them as well. And so like if you fly through a bunch of chunks, or maybe you're branch mining and you like go in and get some diamonds in a chunk and come back out again, like that can then get pruned. But if you're just near to that chunk and it ticks it up, then it means it won't get pruned, essentially. So it used to be in the past that the world pruning thing would make it so that like a larger area around where you were actually playing wouldn't get pruned. Whereas now it's like actual specific chunks because they fixed that bug. They fixed the bug and it kind of made the way you could use the feature worse, is essentially the problem. Now, I explored the idea of like, what if you had a mod, right, that just added an extra value, but I think that's really like a not friendly way to do stuff. Create a bunch of mod code that adds extra values to the chunks for the world pruning stuff. But it's a possibility. So my idea was like, when you select a filter around the chunks, it also then goes, hey, this chunk here has been selected, now let's move out by a distance of 2 and select all of those chunks, or a distance of 3. And then when you got an area that a player's actually been in, the area around it gets preserved as well, and that would be really good. Quers says, what makes this even harder is that Minecraft had/has some bugs where with saving the inhabited time. Yeah, that's it. So so like what's the best way forward? Like, Maybe a mod that keeps a bunch of separate files and then talks to the pruning app, and then the pruning app can see exactly what's going on. The other thing is, again, this might be why it's a great idea to use a mod, which makes it less accessible for vanilla players. But you know, if there's no vanilla solution, like what if you could run a command like save here? That doesn't sound good. Preserve region or prune whitelist. I don't know. Some sort. Hey, we're not supposed to use those terms anymore. Prune save list. Like save list radius 100. You're saying 100 blocks around where I'm standing right now, this stuff survives the prune. And then as an admin, like I don't have to like go through a list of coordinates where people have got stuff and double check them, and then like go on the map and create a little selection around it, and then find out that I might have done that wrong. You know, there's all that stuff that goes into pruning the world, and other admins like want to preserve and keep their worlds from having extraordinary file sizes, because that limits your ability to back up a world frequently. The bigger the world file, the less backups you can have of it, if your space is the limitation. Tash Jai says, I see you use my art to advertise your stream. Yeah, and I gave credit in the description of the video. FYI, that's what I do. I save all the fan art that comes my way, and thank you for sending it to me. And I will also, you know, credit in the description of the video. Right, let's put this last stack over here. I guess that filled up. I can just put that in another box. Right click with a stone axe to mark a chunk as protected, left click to clear it for pruning, says Locro. No, I don't think using in-game tools is a good way to do it. I think using something external. It's like having sticks for that Schematica program. You just accidentally use it the wrong way at some point, right? Like what if you use a stone axe in the beginning of the game to chop down a tree or to strip a tree? Or late in the game, maybe you died and you craft one, and then now you're just pruning some random tree somewhere. Like, if you put it at the command level, it's not going to be accidentally used. Right, I'm going to check my redstone chest and turn off my chat for a moment, because I've got a bunch of items that I need on the other screen. So, like, we've got the note blocks. We'll craft up some chest pistons. Yeah, we got those. Repeaters, we got them. Slime blocks, we're good. Observers, we're doing fine. Dust, obsidian, we're taking care of. Yeah, we're pretty much there. So 128 hoppers, and it looks like I could do with crafting maybe a few extra pistons. I don't actually need them immediately. Right, anyway, I've got chat back on my screen. That can go into there, I noticed. I could really do with another shulker box for these, and free up a little bit more space for my redstoning supplies. Let's go ahead and actually... Oh, wait a minute. My slime's kind of low. I swear... No, I haven't... I went and collected my slimes. I'm sure of it. Maybe I didn't. We'll go collect slime then. Right, and I'm just going to put those in their own box. So we've got a bit more space in that. Let's go collect some slime. Sophisticated Ated says, save chunk 100. Simple command that would save the chunk you're in plus 100 blocks radius for player position. Yeah, I like it. That's kind of the idea. I think you might want to maybe not use the term chunk. Like, if you try and avoid the technicalness of it and keep it to things that players would understand, like save radius or like save blocks radius 100, I don't know, to make them not think about stuff like chunks and then be like, oh, what's chunks? What does that mean? And have them think more about simple stuff like, you know, 100 blocks in all directions, right? None of that going to the corners or having to do math. Like, if you send me the coordinates on Hermitcraft, you've also got to like consider that the coordinates you just sent might be at the edge of a chunk border or like at the edge of a region, right? So I go and save the coordinates you gave me, but it turns out half the thing you built was in the next region file. So it's stuff like that too. Anyway, Cures, drop me a message if you have any thoughts on any of that stuff. I don't know if you're even passionate about like this problem, but it's just one that I have and other server admins would potentially be interested in, you know, having a solution for, I guess. And I'm not sure if there's anything out there that exists that can help. I'm sure that I came over here and got a whole bunch. Maybe I then used those slimes. What projects have we done recently, peeps? Refresh my memory. The thing that we did with Corrales, I can't remember if I built anything in that episode. Is there some slimes in here that I've been completely obnoxious to? Well, I think I know what we're doing for the rest of the stream then. We need to beef up the slime farm, then I need to AFK for some. Yeah, I'm not seeing the many. That's not good enough. I need more slime blocks than that. To be fair, actually. Let me go double check. I know for future projects we'll need more. I could probably get away with that. So I just need to craft up hoppers. Let's get rid of that list of materials. I need to craft a stack or two of hoppers. And then we'll go light up some caves for the slimes in the future, I think. Unless I see something else on my list where I'm like, maybe we should take care of that. You got how many levels? 325. Should I get rid of them? Should I get rid of all these XP levels, peeps? They're a little bit distracting to some people in chat. I mean, the least interesting thing is those three numbers on the screen, if you ask me. Rigstig says, colour coding your shulker boxes will help for organisation. I know, I need to do it, I keep putting off making the flower farm. There's always like one other project before it that I want to do. Have you seen Doc Slime Farm in the swamp? I have, and the whole thing about the mushroom light level thing, it's a bit fuzzy in my brain. Where are we going? I'm supposed to be going to my base. But like, do the mushrooms emit a light level of 1? It's just like, dang, I totally forgot they did that. I can't remember. There was some mad science behind making it work, which is super cool. Lost Bowen Kimling 360, thank you for 6 months. Half a year, greatly appreciate your support. We've got Liger gifting a sub to Riggs Diggs. Liger, thank you for supporting the community and gifting the sub, my dude. Appreciate it. Right, so we've got our foods. We need to craft some stuff. These things go in there. Yeah, I would now have enough slime balls to skimp, and I mean literally skimp by. So I need to work on getting more, so we'll do that. That's definitely now a priority, I think. And we just need to get our hands on... So I should have a lot of wood in one of... No, wait, I think it's in one of these. Yeah, the organisation here could be better. There you go. And I also have a lot of iron, right? Because we just did that a minute ago. So let's take that. Take those. I can make more on the go now easily as well. Craft them up. And then do this. Well, that'll get me by on that project, I think. I'm just going to chuck them in there, these extra bits that are lying around. Right, and what we need next is lots of torches. How many do we have in our light source chest? Quite a few, actually, so we'll take those. Peeps, can you remind me, is there anything else that we do when we go light up the caves? I've got this weird feeling like... I think we were just collecting ores, so it's like a good idea to keep some empty shulker boxes around. I think that was the other thing we usually pair it with. Why does the amethyst look like that? Says sea levels. Oh, you saw some spoilers there. Keep an eye out. Rendog's got an episode coming out today, I believe. Or yesterday. I don't know, actually. I should check. But yeah. Keep an eye out. Anyway. Rebenta Minis, thank you for 13 months of support. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Right. My brain's, like, stuck on this idea that I need to bring something else with me. And that should really be in the backpack, but whatever. Right, so we need to go caving around where the slime farm is. And I've got to activate the spheres. I haven't done this in a long time. It's going to get super cheaty around here. So, you know, if you're like, client-side mods should be illegal, then don't stick around here. I would like to talk about my base a little bit. I know we're about to shoot off. Look, at some point we need to talk about this base because it isn't quite working for me. But I've sort of been thinking about just living in the cave down here, building farms, and then just trying to make them look a little more interesting later on. I don't feel like this concept's worked very well for me, and maybe I should just kind of like move forward with a different idea, and that could be just building redstone contraptions in the cave, because that's where I'm at right now. You know, I'm into those contraptionage stuff. Right, let's make sure the shape overlay. Which one is that? Shape render on. Right, so we have the right sphere here. Let me just check it was that one. Oh, interesting, it wasn't. It's this one down here. I wonder if I can rename it. That'll do. Slime. Now I know what it is. Dang! Good thinking, X. Good thinking. So this area is where we prevent slimes from spawning. So now what I need to do is find a cave, right? And I'm not a vanilla purist after playing this for years and years. I like a bit of caving, but I ain't got time to spend hours searching for those little pockets that don't get lit up. So I guess for a starter, I could pop down into this cave and go and take that out. Yeah, let's do that. So it seems to be just below where that black concrete is. That is an amazing cave. Cave life is a vibe. Yeah, maybe it could work. YDYT, 13 months of support, my dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Am I picking up ores as I go around? Or am I just gonna... I think I'm just gonna knuckle down and light stuff up. Maybe if there's some sort of rare ore or something I need. But I can't think of what that would be. Probably lapis is always worth picking up. If you come across it. I guess straight down and then across that way. A torch here. I should keep them on my offhand actually. I've come too far. We've lost the haste. That's for sure. Here we go. And there's the edge of the whole thing. And then somewhere over here is a bit I didn't light up. See, I've been through here before, right? Not even worth taking. Lapis ore is a nice decorative block. I always grab it. Grab it like a rabbit. Here you go. So what happened to the border? We saw it a second ago. It feels like... Yeah, no, we've gone beyond the border. Oh, am I looking beyond? No, we need to go back behind ourselves. There's a dark room over there, apparently. And that is inside this. Aha! There's a spot here that I didn't spot. A spot that I didn't spot. And does it have diamonds? Ah, the glowberries. I'll take those. And a name tag. Not bad. Don't know about the seeds. Dang it! Oh yeah, I don't actually have a sword, do I? Well, all we need is a torch there. It kind of looked like there was more darkness around here. That's it, just that small gap. Oh, and then there's this back here. Wait, where are we? I think that was sort of above us. Break the minecart, sometimes it has two. Oh, what, two? Right, one generates on top of the other? Huh. Wouldn't have suspected that. Smartin 1018, 74 months. Thank you so much, my dude. Appreciate it. Hope you are entertained, enjoying, having a good time, all of that stuff. Thank you for your support. How is the Elytra course coming? I haven't worked on that in ages. It's, again, just like another kind of like grind for an occasional day like this one. I mean, maybe I could work on it tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do in this heat wave. I was kind of telling myself, like, take some time off, play a game, right? When I was sick at the beginning of the year, I played GTA and I really enjoyed it. But it had been on my mind for a while. It's like, I want to play GTA again. I had that itch. Then I had an opportunity to scratch it. The thing right now is that I don't have a game on my mind. Maybe I'll have a time this evening to think, but I don't have something that I really want to get to. Like, Diablo 2 came out a while back, like the remake, and that was great. Like, that was something I definitely wanted to do in terms of gaming. But yeah, I just... when the opportunity comes along to take some time off, I don't want to fumble and sit around doing nothing. It's like, what's this thing I'm going to do? And I don't have anything. There's not, like, some game or thing that I've been wanting to get to. So there's like a tiny patch there, probably not worth focusing on, and a couple of patches over here. I think probably most of the unlit area is now some... Ah, wait, down here? Oh, there's lots of it down here. We've totally missed out on all of that. Right, I don't know where we are, but we want to head sort of down and across. Can I find myself again? I'm somewhere around here. I'm there. So if we head through the mine shaft, and then I think yeah, there you go. End of the mine shaft and drop down. How do I know if I'm going the right way? Yeah, I think this is the right way. Zoo Tycoon. Nah, don't think I want to play a Tycoon game. No Man's Sky. Honestly, I don't know. I do like that game. Again, it's just one of those games. I wish I had not touched that when it first came out, because it's got so much more content now, but you're kind of left with that first impression. Hey Xisuma, quick question. Any tips on how to continue the Dark UI resource pack? I'm playing in a couple of mods that add some interactive blocks, just in case you have any tips to speed up the process. I don't, but like maybe... I don't know, maybe like rather than... Maybe there's a filter you can apply to the texture that gets it like 90% of the way there. And then you don't have to like manually texture everything. But, you know, I wouldn't know what to suggest because I don't do any of that stuff. But that's just me like riffing an idea. Yeah, I think I might just throw down a couple extra torches outside the area on occasion too. Hey, Lapis, we want that. This is the stuff where we want to go. Make sure it all gets lit up. This will make some big gains to our slime farm. Ow! Rude! X, how do you have mini HUD? I mean, I put it in my mods folder, right? Joe Mungadar, welcome to the stream, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Ah, creeper! Oh, gosh, you took some of my heart. You stole my heart, creeper. Yeah, this area is like going to be tricky to actually keep track of. There's just like little windy bits everywhere, and it's all open and crazy. Do I collect the deep slate ores, right? They're a bit more difficult to get, aren't they? Maybe, maybe not. I don't want rotted flesh, no thanks. Yucky. Right, let's fly up. Because it looked like there was this big dark area down here, but now... Oh, there it is. Okay, so there is a big dark area, but I've been through here before a little bit. There's more darkness behind us, so when we drop down into that space, we're going to miss out on all of this. And I've lost track of where I am. Let's try again. Yeah, just go straight upish. Straight upish. I started watching a movie earlier. Troy. Brad Pitt, 2004. I'm not sure if I actually watched it back in the day when it came out. But I was just like, Netflix was like, what about Troy? I was like, go on then. Go on then, let's watch a movie. I think I'm going to skip on the ores. I'm just going to... unless it's lapis or diamonds or something. I like Troy, says Walker. So far, so good for me. I've only watched like 40 minutes or something. Oh, and I started watching, right? I finished watching Stranger Things, so now I ain't got any shows to watch. And I kind of wish I had have thought ahead and, I don't know, found something super interesting to watch or whatever, but... You know, I like a bit of entertainment, but I also want to try and use my time to engage with something like productive or meaningful or educational. I just didn't have anything, so I picked a show, and it was one on Amazon called Night Sky with J.K. Simmons, and it was alright. Like, alright as in, this'll entertain me. Like, I don't know if it's going to be amazing or anything yet, but first few episodes are really good. Right, let's see if there's more in this spot. Yeah, look, see I missed all of that back there somehow. And then there's a little bit here. So if I go back the way I came, funny enough, I can light up that bit up the top and then move on to the next bit. I finished watching Night Sky, says Big John Sellers. Is it gratifying? Is it good? Is it one of those shows that actually ends, or like is there always going to be another season? Because I just want to watch one season of something, and then hopefully in that time figure out something more productive to do in my time. Like maybe find some kind of like educational series or something. Do you like sitcoms? Seinfeld is my favourite. I watched a little bit of Seinfeld. I never really got into it though. I mean, I like stuff like that from when I was younger. I just don't choose to watch any stuff like that anymore. Have you seen The Sopranos? Yep, The Sopranos is an amazing TV show. That feels like one of the early beginnings of how TV is now, like these really big sort of it got a bit of that like movie-like feel to it. Like, The Wire is my favourite though. The Wire is my absolute favourite TV show. Like, I couldn't recommend it enough. Like, I'm one of those people that you'll encounter us every now and then that will tell you that you must watch The Wire and it's the best thing you'll ever see. I mean, I know it won't be to everyone's cup of tea, but dang, man, that show blew my mind when I saw it. You should try Peaky Blinders. I've tried Peaky Blinders. I watched the first couple of seasons, and I don't know, it just felt a bit, after a while. Sometimes a show's interesting because there's many ways in which a show could be interesting, right? For me, I think Peaky Blinders is like, the setting is really interesting, but then it just sort of turns into a regular show of back and forths and stakes being raised and lowered, and yeah, and then you're like, yeah. Right, so I want to get into that area, and I'm kind of close to... If I sort of wind my way back around these caves, I might find a closer entry point. Oh, actually, where did it come from? Down here? Severance is very good. Workers at a big corp can separate their work memories from their personal ones. Oh, I don't know if I've seen that. I remember a Danny Dyer's movie called Severance. Danny Dyer's, mate. I don't know if that's a good impression or not. Proper geezer, isn't he? He's a proper geezer, that Danny. He was like really popular for a bit. I don't know, 16, 17 years ago. I don't know what he's doing now. Lol, spot on. Thanks. Proper geezer. Right, down here. Over there. I think we hooked it back up. So, yeah, let's shimmy on round to that spot of darkness next. There really is just a heck of a lot to do for this perimeter. Anyway, loads of y'all are recommending me TV shows. I feel like sometimes people just recommend what they like, which is fine. Like, I recommend The Wire. That's because I like it. But like, if someone says, hey, I like this type of thing, that type of thing, that type of thing, you can send them a personalized recommendation maybe, right? But here's what I'm really asking. Like, what's not a TV show, but is something I can watch with a little bit of downtime that's going to be valuable? Like maybe, I don't know, like when you watch a podcast or listen to a podcast, you can just learn some valuable, interesting information. Things like that. I'm aware that there's channels that like kind of specialize in creativity and talk about the creative process. I've never really found one that like quite ticks the box for me on that front, but that could be really helpful, finding a series or a show that like goes into the world of creativity and inspiration, because that's so like close to what I do, and it could just be a great exercise to frequently engage and think about those things, and maybe unlock some more like potential of things I could be doing with my videos, with my time, right? That's what I guess I'm getting at, like what kind of stuff that fits that box. Security Now by Steve Gibson. Is this about like online security and stuff? I'll have a look at that. Almost because it doesn't sound like anything creative. Smarter Every Day, I watch Smarter Every Day. Yeah, so when it comes to YouTube channels, like, I have a watch list, so I subscribe, it goes on the watch list, and then when I'm doing stuff, I will watch YouTube videos. The thing is, they run out, like, you run out of YouTube videos, and then that's when I fall back to watching TV. So generally, I watch my edutainment and whatever's happening on YouTube first, and then when those videos run out, that's when I'll resort to like, alright, Netflix or whatever. So what I want to find is something that's something else. I always try and watch stuff on like documentaries on Curiosity Stream or whatever, but I just find they're that kind of like old school style of documentary. It just doesn't quite tick the boxes. I want to get over there. Can we do some sort of like expert ninja ender pearl throw? It's expert ninja ender pearl throw time. Oh, expert ninja in the house. Got him. That is a lot of the top area. Oh, no, it's not. I've got to go up there and get that little patch, which I am right next to. Disney Plus nature documentaries. I might enjoy that. Does anyone else like your interests don't stay the same forever, do they? Right? Like nature documentaries are a thing I was like really into once, and I watched loads of them, and then it gives you that sense of like, I don't know, seen that, know what that's about, right? Sounds a bit sad. It is a bit sad, really. I'd love to constantly be into something like that. But that's the thing, right? So like, I've seen a lot of those sorts of things, and they're amazing, but I kind of just doesn't really tickle my fancy, you know? I think we're going to head down into this area now. Maybe we'll aim for this cave over there first. Which is somewhere here, I think. Or up there. Ninja Pearl. Ninja Pearl! Oh, wow. Lots to do here. Excellent. Keep it going. Let's place all the torches, peeps. All of them. Now, that might be somewhere we need to go and light up, but as of right now, the lava's in the way, isn't it? We'll probably come back round to that space in a moment, because it looks like it hooks up with this area. That's good. Seems natural, says Black Rots. Yeah. Like, I appreciate all the suggestions that come in my way, and I feel bad being like, nah, that's not it. I used to be super into music theory and how it applied to songs I listened to, but not anymore. Can't be bothered, says Rip-Off Maple. Yeah, that's kind of it, right? You know, you get into something and then eventually you kind of lose interest in it. It's weird. Gun Rover, 58 months. Thank you so much, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream and all that we do here. Thank you for your support. Oh, another one! It's Dark Guardian. Thank you for using your Amazon Prime on me. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. You know how we roll here. You knew I was going to say that. I'll just ender pearl my way back up here. That's all lit up in there, isn't it? Project Binky on YouTube. A couple of good chaps doing fascinating engineering. Let's give that one a try. Project Binky. Writing it down. Engineering is interesting. Sometimes it's how it's presented, though, right? Like, presenter, like, how someone talks about something, I think plays like a large role in how it's made interesting or not. So if someone's passionate about something and has got a cool way of showing and explaining things, it goes so far. Like, I could totally get into engineering. A lot of the engineering stuff I've come across hasn't been quite like that. I'd say someone like Mark Rober is probably the closest. Well, no, Mark Rober totally like makes it all interesting, right? That's kind of his speciality. Right, we've got to go back up there. Oh, we are covering so much ground. Ah! Finally! A combatant has appeared to challenge me on my quest. I recently started watching Voice Teacher Reacts kind of videos on YouTube. Beth Rawls is really amazing. Does reactions to metal and rock, and analysing the singer's technique is really cool. Might be something that interests you. I've seen those before as well, yeah. Not massively interested in. What put me off React videos, though, is like watching someone react to Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time and acting like they've never heard it before, right? It's like, yeah, sure, you've never heard this. And another one is like, there's also like it plays into confirmation bias. Like, you're probably not going to enjoy so-and-so reacts to band that you hate, Nickelback, you know. So-and-so reacts to Nickelback, unless they're like literally hating on it as the reaction. You know, like, it plays into your confirmation bias. You like to see people, you want to see the excitement they have that you have with the music. You're looking for that like mirror. And once I became aware of that, it really kind of like took the fun out of watching those videos. I didn't ever get that deep into it. It just kind of hit me. It was like, this is just about me searching for stuff I like so I can see other people that like it confirm how I feel. Right, that's all I'm doing. And I don't think there's anything bad about that. Just you know, it's just what it is. So Royal Black says, I can't recommend Joe Scott enough on YouTube. Talks about topics ranging from physics to astronomy, history. Just have a look over some of his YouTube titles and you'll see what he's about, Xisuma. Nah, pass on that, I think. Pass. Hard pass. I'm trolling you. I am trolling you. Where's my troll button? There it is. No, that's not the troll button. Sorry, that's the... Dang it, I gave it away. I gave it all away. Joe Scott is one of my favourite YouTubers. To the point where it's like, when I have my little playlist of YouTube videos, right? My favourite time to get through them is when I'm cooking, right? Doing some cooking with a video on, like, on the iPad, so it's like it's there, watching it while I cook. His are always my favourite. I always save those because he's got that curiosity, that passion about all that stuff, and just makes whatever he talks about really fun and interesting. And it's always like covering interesting questions or like the latest things that are happening in those worlds. So yeah, and Tom Scott is another one. So Joe Scott and Tom Scott, no relation, just it's just a name, innit? Yeah, those are like two YouTubers I really enjoy, and they're like first on the list of stuff to watch when it's YouTube watching time. Alright, we've got all of that bit, now we're down into that space. Alright, and that's that area covered, so there's a little bit there and over there. Why is there just a little... How am I even going to get to that? Kind of got to line it up right, somewhere down here. Tom Scott Plus is so good, says Tainmere. I like the Plus channel. I'm happy for him that he's like been able to create that, because when he made it, he talked about how like there's all these other opportunities that don't quite end up being a video. So I'm really like glad he's found that. I kind of feel like some of them are really good, and some of them I feel I tend to just skip through a bit, like that maybe they could be shorter, but that's just like my own little taste, right? Like it's really cool what he does, and that he's been able to make that channel. But yeah, I like the format of the first channel, and I like it sometimes when the topics go a bit deeper and they're a bit longer, which you get on that second channel. That sometimes they're, I don't know, just a bit more personal and not quite as interesting. But hey, what are we doing? We're just exploring the depths of my preference, apparently. Do you watch Vsauce? Says Laughative. Yeah, and the latest Vsauce video was amazing. I tweeted it. It was something, like, it was questions that I've wondered about and wanted to have answered for such a long time. One of the most insightful things in that video was how people dress a particular way, and that changes with time. And what was once new becomes old, but people tend to keep dressing the same way. So then as people get older, you associate their age with the way that they dress, and thus it makes it look like people in the past looked older, right? But it's just the way standards of beauty and fashion and stuff have changed our perception of it. It's so good. Such a good topic, an interesting topic. I've always sort of seen that. You like look at young people in olden times and they're like dressed in suits and bowler hats, and it just makes them look old. But it's like, well, no, that was the thing that they wore when they were that age then, but they kept wearing it, and so then it became something that all these old people were wearing. So like, if you think about what you're wearing today, right? In 50 years, you are going to look old wearing what you're wearing right now. Like, that's just how it works. Technical difficulties is amazing. My favourite Tom Scott videos. I really liked those old ones where he would get with his mates and they would like crack jokes together. Very 90s influenced. Like, having grown up watching 90s television, some of that daytime kind of like trivia quiz oriented stuff, it's heavily influenced by that. I mean, obviously he's a 90s kid, right? I really enjoy it because I like that kind of content, that sort of tone of it as well. Ah! Did that do the trick? Yeah, I think that did the trick. Right, so with that area pretty much done, where do we go from here? I can see some like, oh, that's probably like a one high hole, so we don't have to worry about that. So I guess we're probably going to go there, and then here, and then down there, and continue around. I always want to know, like, what way was I actually facing when I look back. Yeah, there you go. Ah! Came the right way. They just released a new technical difficulties. Oh, brilliant. I'll have a watch of that. Discuss says Kyle Hill. Yeah, Kyle Hill I've been enjoying lately as well. Brilliant science communicator. Love his stuff on nuclear energy and the history of nuclear energy and whatnot. I'm so into all of those sciencey channels and stuff and education. It's my cup of tea. My Green Day Dookie shirt will never not be cool, says Miss Canook. Oh, you might think so. But some young teen in chat right now is going, oh, Green Day, oh, sniggering. That was me trying to do like a voice crack. I think it sounded terrible. Okay, how do I want to get over here? Is it connected in any way? It looks like if I go up there, it'll be a quick dig. So turn around and come back up, maybe? That'll sort of pass the lava. Becca says, bruh. Bruh. Yeah, in 50 years from now, all those old people will be going, bruh. I'm trying to think of something an old person might say that they need, but my brain's just very slow. Let's go through this way, I think. Hang on, double check again. Yeah, that'll do. Nice, says Pizzacco. Do you know what word I think will never age though? Cool. I think cool will always be cool, right? Maybe it will fade. Maybe cool will just become so uncool one day. But then, can it become uncool? Like maybe saying uncool becomes uncool. That's just weird. Uncool? Who's uncle? Your uncle? No. Talking about cool. Bro, you seen my teeth anywhere? That's a great one. Zeta, well done. You got it. I'm not sure what the last noise I read in my ear is, but I got a feeling I zoned out a bit. So, Zet Live, thank you for subscribing. Kalo Cat, thank you for the Prime subscription. And Curls of Doom, thank you for giving a sub to Jawmonger Dar for 20 months. Jawmonger Dar, be sure to say thanks in the chat. You probably already said it because it was 5 minutes ago. And I was totally zoned out, wasn't I? Totally zoned out. It's the name of my new album. Cowabunga! Cowabunga, dude! What's that? Turtles? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I can't even say it properly. Is that even a tongue twister? Ooh! It looks like we're heading down there. If I follow this, it can probably help us get in there. Oh, actually, it looks like it goes all the way up here. Doesn't come back into the sphere. Oh, look! Oh, look! There's something right to the other side of us. Hey, 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 what's going on in here? Yo! No arrows, no arrows! Oi! Said no arrows. Hang on, we need some torches. I got me some torches. Gonna light up some caves. Zombies came my way, but then they got an axe to the face. It's not a tongue twister, it's a clip. Alright. I'll clip it. There you go. Oh yeah, but if ever you want me to clip something, Liger or Becca, please do let me know on the other screen. And then I'll hit the button. I haven't hit it really today because I've just been waffling so much. So I kind of want to go, yeah, around that cave and then somewhere else. God, where was I even? Where did I come from? How did I get here? There we go, that makes sense. This was the way. Red Shirt 256, thank you for using the Amazon Prime on me. Appreciate it. Appreciate it ever so much. Peeps, if you did not know, you can use Amazon Prime to subscribe. And it doesn't automatically renew. They make you do that. Jeff don't want to give you any pennies. No automatic renewals for Jeff. Right. It was down, wasn't it? It was over there. Yes, the clips are 2 minutes now. Yeah, I changed the time just to make them a little bit smaller, file size wise. I did some experiments with that on OBS. Turns out you can do it all in OBS as well. I know Slobs is built on OBS, but I mean you can do it in a recording environment. So if ever I'm hanging out with the Hermit's Rages, And you can just make your life a little easier and hit that clip button instead of rummaging through like a massive video file. Which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's go this way. Oh, dang it, let's go this way. We there yet? We'll get there eventually. Ezra Manning, I can't believe that either, actually. I was looking at my chat and I was so disappointed. I was like, it's like they know me now. You know? It's like the element of surprise has been lost. And I'm just... My utility is wearing thin now. If that doesn't get a reaction, like, what's my purpose here? How am I supposed to entertain? When something like that just, you know, no one bats an eyelid. This doesn't make any sense. This time, though, everyone feels a little bit differently. Didn't the last 5 or 6 times? Oh, am I lost down here? How did we break into this cave? Did we fall down into it? I forget. Oh yeah, way further back, way further back. That being said, let's have a little scan. So that's pretty much covered, yeah. Ah, over there. Let's go hit that up next. It's a bit far away for digging. Oh, look, I got that. Okay, let's take care of that. Next. Oh, not again. God, just my luck. And we're on track. We're on the right spot. Right, and then from here, I think we could swing around into that area, right? That's the way that we'll do it. I'll put some torches down so I can find my way back. Aha! That's what I'm looking for. Efficiency improved. Always check for creepers, peeps. Finally, we found some ores of value. Hey, Castle Doom, thank you for gifting another sub to Leonard M54 for a whole year. Appreciate you doing that. Leonard said thank you in the chat. I saw it. I don't have to say thanks in the chat. It's already there. Dang. Okay, I think there might be, yeah, stuff above as well. Or actually not. Let's see where we go from here then. Yeah, directly above. Also down there past the lava apparently, so let's check that one out. Uh-huh, all lit up. What are those weird looking blue blocks? That's lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli it is. Valuable block in this game. Right, then from here, you can hop round into this side. I thought there was something over here. There is, it's just over that way. Dang, look at that. Cool, we have lit up a lot today. There's still all of that. But then when you get around to this side, what, you know, odd little spots. Actually, it kind of looks like I missed a fair bit there. I mean, it's weird because when I started this, it felt like I did a lot in one go. And then it feels like every time I do a lot, I keep discovering more. Like over here. And then there. I guess you just got to keep doing passes on it. Like maybe what we'll do next time is start up here. Start at the top. I thought I'd done all the top stuff already actually, but apparently not. So yeah, hopefully that made a difference to this thing. And then what we have to do You know what? I hope this sphere is correct, because it's supposed to revolve around this spot here. So if I press H, sorry, HC, 1519623. 1520, yeah, so it's centered around that spot. We also got to dig this ceiling upwards in a sphere shape, like hundreds of blocks. Like, not as high as that, but like keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, that's, I don't know why we would ever dig out so much stuff. That's why Doc just deleted the world. Just deleted it, casually, hit that delete button. Look, peeps, it's been amazing hanging out with y'all today. It's baking hot, though. I think in different circumstances I would have kept streaming, because we're having a real good time. And I got time on my hands, no rush to do anything. But, you know, all good things come to an end. Apparently I just declared this was a good thing. God, such a big ego. Just assuming that my streams are good. What's wrong with me? Egotistical maniac. Oh dear. Oh dear. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you all the people gifting subs, the mods, the patrons, and everyone who helps make this community amazing. I appreciate you all. And we will go and raid Mr. Pixel Riffs, who I had a pleasant chat with the other day. So it feels kind of timely to send a raid his way. That's it. You can now hit the raid button. Obviously hit the follow button as well. But I'll see you later.